Oh, I want to take a look at this like super quick before we look at anything else. I mean, this is on the Joe Rogan podcast not too long ago. He literally said that Alex Jones is more right than CNN. Take a look at this.
Point where Alex Jones, despite all his troubles,
makes
now,
sense.
Not just makes sense, but a lot of people are like, hey, what did he say?
Right.
Now he's back on Twitter or X.
Yeah, well,
which is wild. He's going to do a daily show.
Pointed out a lot of things over the years. Some of them have been correct.
A lot of them
have been correct.
A lot of them.
So you can't discount. Now, some of them aren't. But you can't discount what he says anymore as easily as you could have.
No, not as easily. It's
prior to
so much insanity has gone on over the last 3 years that like so many people are like, what the fuck?
Well, the erosion of
what
trust
type of
in everything,
insanity?
from the government, media, church, every institution we have is completely kind of collapsed in terms of how we view them. And we now see how politically motivated they are, how corrupt they are, how criminal they are. And now that we're just left in a world of individuals.
Like what? Well, you gotta... Like what? Well, they're never going to explain really what, because they're not talking to the audience that they need to explain what, right? They're talking to an audience that already believes everything that they believe. And so you never really have to say what. And everybody has their, and this is one of the big reasons why you can go to a lot of conservatives and get like a billion different answers about like one thing. Like, and you can, and how like almost none of them can describe what CRT is. Almost none of them can describe what like woke is. Almost none of them can describe what like white genocide necessarily is. None of these people can explain these things succinctly, or they have like a genuine kind of like through line understanding of this type of stuff, because all of them just have a feeling that all of these things are true, and then you say that they're so super true, and you pull out this like disparate information to be able to kind of tangentially reaffirm the belief that they're already holding. And so with that in mind, all you have to say is like everybody is super bad and everybody does everything wrong and everybody is like crazy untrustworthy and everybody's only trying to get one over on you and everybody is controlled by them. But us, me and you and Zaboomafoo, us, we know the truth. And that's why we are able to know that they are bad, and that's why we're doing great things and they're doing absolutely nothing to make the world good. Yeah, things aren't the way they used to be. Things aren't the way they used to be. Things used to be good, but now they're bad. And I hate when things are bad, because when things are good, they're good. But sometimes they're bad, and you know what? That's real bad. And things get real bad out there. Ain't that right? He's popular enough to owe $2 million to the Sandy Hook family. No, it's not $2 billion. It's not $2 million. It's $1.1 billion in total, if I remember correctly. My bad. $1.5 billion in total. He owes $1.5 billion in total in losses. That's crazy. Not enough. That's true. He should owe $2 trillion. He should have to pay the United States GDP. That would have gone crazy, in my opinion. Okay, this is legit pissing me off, because it's always like, these are other people. They're all liars, being dishonest. The people I follow couldn't do that. Couldn't be, though. It's a complete lack of integrity and it's a complete lack of integrity and self-reflection. But that's what's necessary for you to be a conservative. It's just necessary for you to hold these types of conservative beliefs and these conspiratorial beliefs, because they feed into something more important than integrity or decency or even being correct, is being special. And it's way easier to convince people that they're actually special, that it's like better to be right than actually to be special. And so they have the special knowledge, they have the special intuition, they're like the special people who are being taken advantage of, right? They know what it's like to be special. Other ones do not.
Some of whom are truth-seeking, some of whom are sociopaths, some of whom are funny, some of whom are whatever. But now we're just kind of left with a world of people trying to figure it out on their own. And it's pretty scary. Because some of those people are going to build cults and communes, and everybody's going to drink the poison, and they're trying to go find a Hale-Bopp comet. And some of them are going to build media companies. Some of them are going to build AI bots. Some of them are going to build... And some of them are going to, come up with new religions. I mean...
What the fuck is happening? What are they talking about?
A world of people trying to figure it out. Just left in a world of individuals, some of whom are truth-seeking.
Wait, I have to...
No. Not as easily. It's
prior
like
to
so much insanity has gone on. And we've gotten
I have to
the point
restart
where
this.
Alex Jones,
Yeah.
despite all his troubles,
Makes
is now,
sense.
Not just makes sense,
Yeah.
but a lot of people are like, hey, what did he say?
right.
And then now he's back on Twitter or X.
Yeah, well,
which is wild. He's going to do a daily show.
Collective storytelling. That's actually so funny. Fanfic. That's actually so funny because they do that a lot. They're constantly making fanfics about the things that they believe. The things that they actually want to be real aren't real, so they have to make fanfics about them so they feel real, you know? Like if Donald Trump and Elon Musk were so cool and interesting and like admirable and they do all these great things, then they wouldn't have to make all these AI images of them doing cool things and looking so amazing, because they would just be cool and would just be doing these amazing things and you would just have pictures of them. But you don't, because they're not. And so instead of you coming to grips with the reality, they actually use AI to help them visualize the world that they have in their own mind, that they collectively invented to be able to bring life into their ideas that they have about the world. It's actually so interesting. 1984 type shit, right?
Show
pointed out a lot of things over the years. Some of them have been correct.
A lot of them.
A lot of them have been correct.
A lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of
So
them.
you
Yep. It's actually so interesting. It's like literally, you know that like Joe Rogan podcast meme where it's just like a bunch of guys just saying actually literally nothing for like 5 minutes, literally saying nothing for 5 minutes.
Some of them are going to build AI bots. Some of them are going to build, and some of them are
what are you
going
talking
to,
about?
Come up with new religions.
Yeah.
I mean, but it seems to be now that everybody's operating outside of the institutions.
Yes.
And that the people that are still operating within the institutions are almost taking cues, a la the Honest Papa say, from people on the outside. So it does seem like the institutions are, come up with new religions.
Yeah.
I mean, but it seems to be now that everybody's operating outside of the institutions.
Yes.
And that the people that are still operating within the institutions are almost taking cues, a la the Honest Papa say, from people on the outside. So it does seem like the institutions are rotting a bit.
Well, they're trapped too.
Yeah.
The institute, well, especially the media.
What the fuck are they talking about? What's going on? I think what they're referring to is just like the atomization of media. Just the internet allows. It's just like the most roundabout, weird, nonsensical way to say that the internet allows more people to build audiences for people to be able to listen to. They're just in a super weird, terribly worded roundabout way. They're just saying that alternative media exists. Alternative media exists, and people have been distrustful of established media. Okay, they're waffling. I've never seen a yap session like this before in my life.
Media. They're so trapped in the television format.
Yeah.
That format sucks.
Well, it's just people not wanting to lose their job.
Yep.
That's all it is. It's people protecting their own revenue source. That's all it is. It'll go on as long as they can. It's the most basic human desire to protect your family and your money.
And that's a thing that no one ever thought was going to go away.
And no one thought it was going to go away. And now it's going away. And the pace of it and the pace of change is disorienting. And people are like, what the fuck's going on? And, now we're in the Wild West. And the Wild West has its problems. It has a ton of benefits. We all know them.
Yeah.
A lot of information. But then the Wild West has a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And it's deep fakes. Mm-hmm. It's the AI stuff. Mm-hmm. It's what isn't real.
Yeah.
What did and did not happen.
Right.
A lot of charismatic, cunning people are going to be able to manipulate this technology and, rile people up about all manner of events that may or may not have happened.
Yeah.
Wait till they come with fake police shootings that didn't happen. Wait till they just start manufacturing footage from something that did not happen. Right. And there's people in the street rioting.
He sure is talking. Yeah, this is a lot of talking. I think this is Seth Dillon. Jesus. He's like, you know what? The Wild West sure was. You know what everybody says about the Wild West back in the day? Well, today. After looking back at the Wild West, everybody's always like, you know what, the Wild West, it was so great. The Wild West, it was so good and great for people and humanity. All the crimes, the money, and they had horses. That's pretty true. They had horses. They got money. That's true. A lot of people made a lot of money. Sometimes through like a lot of crime. Black lung, corporate exploitation. That did happen. Yeah. Really bad. Yeah. Snake oil salesman. That absolutely happened. Yeah. But people were so free. You ever think about that? We had so much freedom. And I think at the end of the day, that's what really matters to me. A lot more Native people died. That's true. Freedom for whom? Stop asking those questions. Obviously, everybody who's going to agree with this also believes that they personally would have been free. There was a lot of stuff going on. There was so much stuff going on. You don't even get it. The built different syndrome.
About a thing that did not happen.
How far away from that?
A week?
Because foreign actors could easily do something like that if they wanted to start some sort of chaos.
Dude, for sure.
Oh.
They are. Here's the thing: is because like people have already done this. When Donald Trump was president, somebody made like a deep fake of Donald Trump declaring war on like another country. Do you all remember that? Yeah, vaguely. Maybe it wasn't declaring. It was something. There was a deep fake of Trump. Somebody made like a Trump deep fake and it was going around conservative media.
As appearing to run away from them and even posing for a mugshot. They may look real, but none of them are.
This is an entirely
okay, but these were all great. Those deep fake images were all fantastic. Oh yeah, there was a deep fake video of Volodymyr Zelensky surrendering the war that was going around too. I mean, Ron DeSantis' campaign was using AI generated deepfake images as well in their campaign videos. I know that happened specifically. That was crazy. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of this deepfake stuff. It's usually for some wild reason. Recently, a lot of the deepfake videos that I've been seeing and stuff have been like on the conservative side. Hungry. No, the hungry thing, for one, that is hilarious, yeah. And the hungry thing, it wasn't actually a deepfake. It was from a bad lip syncing video that got like thrown around as him actually saying that, but he never actually said that. He did actually say my mommy, I mean my wife. That did actually happen.
My mommy or my wife.
That's the type of stuff that you want to sow chaos.
Stuff like you could do stuff like that combined with people like a terror cell.
Yeah, and dude, people wouldn't believe that it didn't happen. They'd go, the government's covering it up.
Right.
They're saying it's right.
Well, there's so much confusion. That's the big problem with not having a main source of information that's reliable.
That's right.
And that people have to search around a lot. A lot of people don't do it. They don't search around.
Just make it InfoWars. Just make it.
So much confusion. That's the big problem with not having a main source of information that's reliable.
That's right.
And that people have to search around a lot. A lot of people don't do it. They don't search around.
Just make it InfoWars.
That's crazy coming from Rogan himself. Well known for being wrong constantly on air. That's insane. People don't search around a lot. Okay.
Wars. Just make it InfoWars. What's the worst that could happen? Just if we got to do one, he's been right enough of the time.
He's been right.
That's
not.
CNN. Just have it be InfoWars as our national news. That's our BBC.
I mean,
I'm 99% sure. Well, for one, if you all believed everything that came from Alex Jones, for one, you all would simply just be dead. I will provide no more commentary on that.
If you think about what they did, you think about what these governments in conjunction. What is this?
Back on Twitter.
Yeah, I was just saying that.
He's going to tweet all day.
Oh, yeah, he's back on Twitter, but he also has a new show that he's doing.
Right.
At the end of the day, he's going to do, like, after he does his main show, he's going to break down all the different things that they talked about.
What I'm going to do
what's going on in the news.
is when I'm on that next week, I'm going to be, I'll FaceTime CAA, all my agents, and go, hey, because the thing is, they can't even get rid of you anymore because they just need you to sell tickets.
When you and him were on the podcast, it was one of my favorite times.
It's one of the greatest things I've ever been a part of and done. And I think it's like this iconic moment of like encapsulating the world at one of the wildest times ever, before an election, before a contentious election.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, it was an amazing time.
The video is it's a screen cap of a Rogan podcast where Alex Jones was on.
Bill.
The old one.
The old studio.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
It was a good time, and he was great. He was really sharp and really.
man.
The fucked up thing is how many things he was right about. Like when he's talking about like polio being something that kids are getting from this vaccine in Africa. They had to stop giving it. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Then he pulls up this AP story. You're like, holy shit.
Well, all the people that he calls out, listen, we always talk about this stuff, right? He infiltrated.
Wait a second. Giving kids polio, Africa. 33 million kids vaccinated against polio in southern Africa. When 33 million kids in southern Africa, southern African countries have been vaccinated against polio, part of an ongoing effort to eradicate the infectious disease that has been largely contained in much of the world. The World Health Organization announced on Friday about 80 million drops of inoculation have been placed in the mouths of children across Malawi, Mozambique, Zambia, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe. Since the launch of the emergency response in March last year, the WHO said. Polio is a cringe disease? No, that's true. But then there's this, because he said an AP article, okay? Is that right?
Vaccine in Africa. They had to stop giving it. Like, what are you talking about? Then he pulls up this AP story. You're like, holy shit.
Okay, but like, wait a second. That's not Alex Jones being right. That's Alex Jones pulling from the same media that you're shit talking right now. Alex Jones, he's like, Alex Jones has been so right on everything. Look at this article that he pulled up from the news organization he said that we all need to stop trusting. What? What? What do you mean? What are you talking about? They're like, Alex Jones pulls up something the mainstream media said and they go, Alex Jones is so right all the time. Alex Jones is, he's actually, he's better than the mainstream news. Look at him pulling up this mainstream news story. Burundi. Officials detect polio outbreak linked to vaccine. Health officials in Burundi have declared an outbreak of polio linked to the vaccine. The first time the paralytic disease has been detected in Eastern African country for more than 3 decades. Polio has been diagnosed in an unvaccinated 4-year-old child in the western part of the country and in 2 other children who were contacts of the child. Authorities in Burundi confirmed in a statement on Friday. Officials also found traces of the virus in sewage samples, confirming the circulation of polio. The virus that sickened the child was found to be a mutated strain of polio that initially came from an oral vaccine. Okay, the virus that sickened the children was found to be a mutated strain of polio that initially came from the oral vaccine. A Burundi government declared the polio outbreak to be a national public health emergency and plans to start an immunization campaign within weeks aimed at protecting all children up to the age of 7. We are supporting the national efforts, they said. WHO said the last time children in Burundi were vaccinated against polio was in 2016, but did not have statistics on how many were reached. The agency said it considered the country's immunity against polio to be quite low. The epidemic is another setback for the global effort to wipe out polio led by the WHO and partners, which began in 1988. Polio is very infectious. The oral vaccine can also cause polio in about 2 can also cause polio in about 2 to 4 children per 2 million doses. And in extremely rare cases, the weakened virus can also sometimes mutate into a more dangerous form and spark outbreaks, especially in places with poor sanitation and low vaccine levels. In recent years, the oral polio vaccine has caused far more cases of polio than the wild polio virus. Last year, cases linked to the oral vaccine turned up in rich countries including Britain, Israel, and the US for the first time in years. Okay. It has caused oral polio vaccine has caused far more cases than the wild polio virus. Okay. It's also a question of vaccine acquisition, right? How good is that vaccine? Well, I would imagine that it's like a decent vaccine because it's being distributed by the WHO, right? Vaccines have non-viral strains of the virus in them. This seems to be a freak accident. Well, it seems like it's a noted accident. It's a noted condition that can happen once or twice in every 2 million inoculations, right? It just seems that it's like something that can happen when you're vaccinating people. See, the only problem is I want to highlight this because this is super interesting because people like Rogan and them are going to like run with stuff like this. The thing here about this part, because this is the part that a lot of people are going to be touching on, that in recent years, the oral polio vaccine has caused far more cases of polio than the wild polio virus. That's because the wild polio virus has been almost completely eradicated because of the vaccines. Like the fact that the vaccine is causing more people to be sick than the wild polio virus is actually an incredible thing. It's actually a fantastic thing because if that wasn't the case, then we would need to vaccinate more people because of it. Like, can you imagine a world where we bring the amount of people who are dying of cancer in the world down so low that chemotherapy actually killed more people than cancer actually did because we were so effective at killing cancer cells in people's bodies? But what these people are going to run with and be like, oh yeah, instead of going, we vaccinated so many people from polio, that means that there are going to be less polio deaths, meaning that the proportion of people who, the percentage of people, chemo is dangerous, right? The percentage of people who are actually sick from the cure is more than the people actually sick from the wild thing. But these people are going to take it as, oh, we just need to stop giving people the cure because it's obviously more dangerous than the actual disease itself, which is not true. That would be like the most amazing progress ever, don't you think? I wonder how much of this has to do with children having weak immune systems. It's one of those weakened virus vaccines where they just give you the virus and then they give you a weakened version of the virus and then let your body naturally build up an immunity to it. And so if this is the case, then it would make sense that some people are going to be getting sick because of that. That's just something that's just something that might happen. Now, it's incredibly rare. And like 1 or 2 per 2 million is like insane. Sorry, 2 to 4 per 2 million is like an incredibly good rate. Officials began rolling out new oral polio vaccines last year. They hope to be less likely to mutate into a version able to trigger new outbreaks, but the epidemic in Burundi, an additional 6 cases in Congo were found to have been sparked by the new oral vaccine. Across Africa, more than 400 cases of polio last year were linked to the oral vaccine, including Congo, Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Zambia. The disease is also stubbornly entrenched in Pakistan and Afghanistan, where transmission has never been stopped. 0.0001% to 0.0002%. And these people are going to be like, you guys got to stop taking this shit. But yeah, like, listen, it's like 4 more cases. So they've caused far more cases than the polio vaccine. And the far more cases we're talking about is 400. There are 400 cases that we know of right now. And this is far more than like the wild vaccine, which means that how many has the wild vaccine done? Like 150? That's incredible based on how medical scientists move. But yeah, anyways, these people are going to take this and be like, oh yeah, Alex Jones is so incredibly correct by pulling up an AP article. Don't you think that's crazy? These people do so little research that pulling up an AP article is grounds for you being the new like news king. Bro, he's the content king, bro. He pulled up a single AP article and they're like, crown this guy our god. He's been more right than the mainstream media. That's kind of incredible to me. It's just the headline. That's true. They probably just read the head. The craziest thing about it is that level of research is what it makes him be like content god, but also he never even actually read the thing. He just like pulled it up and they're like, oh my gosh. It's like showing a chimp fire. Oh, smartest kid on the short bus type energy. The one chimp that learned how to make fire became the new chimp lord. Oh, it's our king. It's him. Yeah, but he made it on accident. Yeah, the one chimp that learned how to make fire on accident becomes new chimp god. That's so interesting. That's so interesting.
And he pulls up this AP story. Like, holy shit.
Well, all the people that he
Holy
calls
shit.
out, listen, we always talk about this stuff, right? He infiltrated Bohemian Grove and stuff like that. It's like, it's blatantly obvious to everybody that all of this secretive, whatever you want to call it, whether it's you want to say deep
Monkey monkey
state or whatever it is, they
deep state,
don't want anything. Whatever you want to call it. It's blatantly obvious to everybody that all of this secretive, whatever you want to call it.
It's them. It's they and them.
Deep state or whatever it is. They don't want anything they're talking about out there. The real rationale for the decisions that are being made, they don't want out there. They don't want that out there. That's why Harvard and Yale and these places exist. That's why all of these secret societies exist. They're all groups that create loyalty amongst a group of very, people that could be very powerful. Certainly,
what are you talking about?
And they're just, that's why all these things exist. And then this guy comes around and breaks into one of them with cameras and shows all of those people in cloaks mock sacrificing an owl or whatever, or mock sacrificing a child. I think the effigy of a child with a big owl.
What? Is he referencing something that actually happened? Killing a mock effigy of a child. They were doing adrenochrome practice. They were doing doing adrenochrome draining workshops. Like, what are you talking about? Is that Bohemian Grove stuff? Like, okay, wait. I know about like the Bohemian Grove, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. Like, rich people have like a rich people meeting, and that's where they milk all the adrenochrome, and that's where they divvy it out to their doting subjects in the they them media. But like, he's saying that Alex Jones broke into there and they were doing an effigy killing of a child with a big owl. I mean, spitting the opposite effects.
I remember something I was going to talk about before you were on a rant. When we're talking about people existing in these AI realms,
yes,
that this is probably
the metaverse.
Are people going to get indicted for crimes that are committed in virtual reality?
What in the world? Are you guys ready to get indicted for your cyber crimes? Well, I mean, kind of. Like, if you solicit illegal material while in the metaverse, yeah, you can get arrested for that. But that's not something that you did in virtual reality. That's something you did in real life through virtual reality. That's different. I love my AI realm. Not the AI realm. The AI realm of evil. Yeah, if you shoot somebody in the game, you get shot in real life. Now that'd be crazy. No, I've committed too many crimes in GTA. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know if you like commit real life crimes, but while in AI, well, in like the AI dimension, then yeah, you'll be arrested. That's true. They will come for you. They will come if you're like spending your time actually stealing shit from people, but that's not like a crime in AI. My question is like, what is he talking about? Is he talking about like getting you're playing like GTA roleplay and you shoot somebody and then they like the Joe Biden police come to arrest you? Is that what they're talking about? Impersonating an officer in GTA, get 30 years. You're thinking too hard. He doesn't know what he means. I don't know. My thing is just like, are you talking about like, yeah, I know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. I want to think that he has like a thing, you know? I would like to imagine that he believes at least a little something, that there's something real in there that he actually believes. I would like to believe that. Whether or not it's true, I don't know. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.